people, Jack here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the blueberry, which is both an incredible fruit and my favorite fruit, and it is also the topic of my video. So let's jump into it. So, blueberry origins. The blueberry falls within the section of Cyanocus and is within the genus of Vicinium. This genus contains many other common berries that you might have heard of, such as the huckleberry and the cranberry, but it also includes a vast amount of wild berries in North America. And that is something integral to the blueberry. It is very North American. The blueberry is native to North America. It originated in this country, and it originated on the eastern seaboard and the northern eastern sections of Canada and the United States. Something very important about this plant is that humans have been consuming it for centuries. The Native Americans have been consuming this plant ever since they first settled the regions. And when European settlers first started arriving in the early 1600s, they also picked this up from learning from the Native Americans and started eating blueberries across their settlements. Now, there is a very important distinction between blueberries. There is the low bush blueberry, but there's also the high bush blueberry. The low bush blueberry is the current day wild blueberry. Wild blueberries are distinct in the fact that they are called low bush for a reason. The blueberries on low bush plants grow very close to the ground. This makes it easy for all sorts of wild browsing animals to pick up the berries and find them. But humans found that picking berries low to the ground all the time was inconvenient. So we developed the high bush blueberry species through artificial selection. The main distinction about that species of blueberry is that we focused on selecting for the blueberries to grow up high and out in the open so they would be easier for humans to pick. And that is the common blueberry that you'll find in most supermarkets and grocery stores, and that is most of the blueberries that you buy and will consume, the high bush blueberry. So, the range of blueberries. These two maps here show the rough ranges of the wild low bush blueberry. Wild low bush blueberries are North American exclusive, and specifically to the United States and Canada. They thrive extremely well in humid environments with a degree of elevation to them, but not too much. That is why we'll see them in places such as Washington and British Columbia, and Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and such, along with Quebec. Wild low bush blueberries grow like crazy in these regions. They can spread to these other regions in green that we see, but they are just not nearly as common as they are in these humid highlands that we found in BC and Washington and the northeastern United States and Canada. That is where blueberries grow best. But I also want to talk about the power of the blueberry. Blueberries contain anthocyanins. That is the pigment that gives blueberries their rich purplish blue color. However, that pigment itself is a flavonoid and has been seen to have incredible health benefits in humans. Flavonoids have been shown, specifically anthocyanins, to help reduce problems in the future for humans such as cancers and cardiovascular disease problems such as reducing the chance of heart attacks and reducing the chances of hypotension and hypertension. These are incredible health benefits, but an important distinction that I feel like I need to make is that these anthocyanins aren't necessarily a cure to these problems. They are more of like a preventative, which means that they are used to help reduce the risk, but can't be used to solve the problem. So, necessarily, blueberries are just a very healthy snack, a healthy fruit that can help reduce some huge problems in humans. But I also want to talk about a little bit why blueberries were such a big deal to me and why I chose to do them for this presentation. I went on a trip with my family in the summer of 2018 to Acadia National Park. Acadia National Park is a national park in the state of Maine in the United States, and is the only national park on the eastern seaboard of the United States. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful forest and mountainous area at the end of the Appalachian Mountains that reaches right up to the Atlantic Ocean, and blueberries thrive in this environment. They grow like crazy. And my family, when we were hiking around and exploring this beautiful place, just always found blueberries there with us. All these wild low bush blueberries growing like crazy, and we would pick them and just enjoy the blueberries while on our hikes. And this is actually encouraged by the national park because there are no issues with food availability for the local birds and the local other wildlife and all sorts of creatures. So they allow humans to pick it, and it's a big part of the tourism industry. And eventually my family, we would bring baskets with us on these hikes, and we would start collecting berries like crazy. And when we brought them back to the place that we were staying at Acadia, we made homemade wild blueberry pies, blueberry jams, and we even made a blueberry juice, which was surprisingly quite good, along with blueberry ice cream, which were very pleasant surprises to me. And I just fell in love with the fruit and became immensely interested in it, and also about just all the benefits it has, which is why I decided to do my presentation on this. But I also want to talk real quickly about blueberries and the future. Scientists are exploring benefits of anthocyanins currently, and as they continue to explore that, what they will likely find is that preventative measure that blueberries provide. Blueberries are not a cure-all to problems that humans experience, but they are an incredibly nutritious food that is incredibly good for humans over their lifetimes. And that is probably how they will continue to be used. Humans will put them in our foods. We will make delicious treats with them like blueberry pies and blueberry jams, and we will just eat the delicious blueberries themselves. And as scientists perhaps discover larger benefits of anthocyanins, blueberries could be an incredibly important ingredient in flavonoid pills or extra nutrients that people take, and they could be marketed that way. But that is currently what blueberries are looking like for the future. And these are my sources. I thank you very much for tuning in to my video about the marvelous blueberry.